Fresh out the box. Stop, look, and watch. Ready yet? Get set. You're watching Pop Culture with Pat.
Welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat, guys. Today I have special guest, all that cast member, Alisa Reyes, with me. How you doing today, Alisa?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me, Pat.
No problem. I just want to, pretty much just start off, asking you about all that. How did you end up getting the role? And is it true? I read somewhere that you auditioned 7 times.
Yeah, only 7 times. Only 7 times. Actually, it was a nationwide search that they were doing, and I, at the time, was living in Manhattan, New York City. That's where I'm from. I think I'm the only one, if I'm not mistaken, that was casted outside of New York City, because Keenan and Kel came from like Atlanta, Chicago. Josh came from Chicago. Angelique and Katrina came, I think, from California, as did Lori Beth. But yeah, it was an intense process, in regards to being a child and, being asked to come up with a multitude of characters and kind of coming up with your own shtick. And a lot of my co-stars had an extensive background in stand-up comedy. So for me, I was more of coming straight off of doing commercials, industrials, film, music videos. I started acting when I was a little girl. So I think when I auditioned for all that, I was around 12 or 13, but I started acting around 7, 8 years old. And so my feet were kind of, wet, but I don't want to say I was new to the comedy world, but compared to my other co-stars, this was kind of new territory. But when I had gotten the audition, my mom and I embraced it with love and light, and we were so excited because, as you can see, I have a lot of energy. So imagine this energy, but multiplied by 100 with a little girl that's 12 ready to go. And I think what just made things work in alignment for me was that I was fearless. And that's what the director and the producers and the executive producers and Nickelodeon, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for kids that were willing to make a fool of themselves, whether it was making fun of themselves or family members or friends, and just going in there and having fun. And so one thing I do like to share about my audition is when I was little, I used to have hats on my wall.
Okay.
And when I auditioned for all that, I was given a scene that I had to do, but I was told that I had to prepare some comedic characters and do kind of like a stand-up comedy routine.
Yep.
So I took all the hats off my wall, and my mom and I spent like days trying to figure out what we were going to do. And my mom helped me write this crazy monologue about my sister having long armpit hair, and when we would eat at the breakfast table, the armpit hair would be in my pancakes and in my syrup, and it was just gross. And then I did a shtick, basically, where I took all the hats off the wall, put them in this big bag, and I called it the grab bag. And when I went into the audition, every hat I took out, I put on, and I played a different character. And I only did a couple sentences, but I'd be like, I talk like a Southern girl, and I go all the way, how you doing, a New Yorker? So I was going in and out of all these different personalities. And I think whatever it was, it worked and got me the part.
And now, do you remember like what it was like the first time for you going on set and then getting to meet the rest of the cast for the first time?
Oh yeah, we when I got the call that I got all that, I was literally about to start, I think, 9th grade in high school. I was literally about to start my high school years. So I'm not going to lie to you. I was doing all that from 9th, 10th, 11th grade. I was in the pit of my high school years.
There you go.
But it was worth every moment of it, because honestly, like, I was at Universal Studios as a kid having a blast. Like, who wouldn't want to do that, and doing what you love. And when you know what you want to do at such a young age and you know what your passion is, then the sky's the limit. And when I went to Florida with my mom, like I said, Universal Studios Orlando, Florida is where we shot the show. They took us straight off the plane to a trailer, and I got a chance to meet everybody. I felt really awkward, like I was going into a weird, like, blind date. Not that I knew what a blind date was as a kid, but
yeah.
I remember I was like tiptoeing in, like, what am I walking into? Everybody was sitting there. They were all looking at me. I was looking at them, because I hate to say this. You're like, you want to see who the other girl is, who the other guy is. And honestly, everybody just embraced each other. Once we, like, said the first hi, everybody just took a breath inside, and we were like, okay, we're good. And yeah, the rest was history. I mean, and to this day, it's great for me to be able to be close to my cast members and to still be able to work alongside them. And we all support each other and uplift each other, and just try to be those positive reflections, from really is what, our relationship and our chemistry that we have really stemmed from that first time we all met, and it's really stayed organic to present day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know a lot of you guys are still friends. That's pretty cool to see, like
Mm-hmm.
after all these years, that you guys, still connect and still talk quite frequently.
Yeah,
And
we're always gonna have that connection. You know what I mean?
exactly, yeah. And
Totally.
and I was gonna ask you, you kind of like mentioned it a little bit. Can you just talk about, what it was like being at Nickelodeon Studios? I know that was something that was kind of a dream for, kids like myself growing up in the '90s. Like we all wanted to go there. So if you could just talk a little bit about
Oh
what
my
that was
God, it
like.
was amazing. I think the coolest part was the fact that there was a live studio tour that transpired, touring through Nickelodeon. So when we shot all that, it was really cool because it was our show mixed with another show called You to You and Gullah Gullah Island.
Yep.
And and I think figured out how to stand a sound stage there as well. And it was a very smaller studio that we were, placed in, which happened to be located right by the geyser machine that was located in a specific area of Universal Studios. So the studios to record our shows were near this geyser. Hence, trust me, I have a story leading up to where Josh and I and Lori Beth got all tied up to the geyser, and poor Josh was like sick with bronchitis. And,
Oh, gee.
I'm just there giggling like an evil little girl, like, oh God, this is crazy. And all of a sudden the geyser explodes and we are just filled with goop and everything. That's a whole other story of its own. But I brought up the geyser because I remembered that's where our studios were located, right by that thing. And we would all have this tour that came through. And so while we were getting our makeup and stuff done, people can tour through. And I remember that first time I had experience seeing people look at me, and I'm looking at them and I'm going, oh my God, like I'm this is happening.
Yeah.
Because it's different when you're an actor and you're a kid and you're starting out and you don't really necessarily have an audience. But this show, we had a live audience every Friday. We'd sign autographs after the show, and we'd sign autographs to every cast, every studio member that came to visit us, and give them an all that picture.
So this is
And
quite
we would
different.
like shake their hands, and as they exited out of the building. That's how intimate we were with our fans. And to this day, our fans have been loyal, and it's because of them that we have that frequency and energy. And then just working at Universal Studios, the reason I have all these memories about the geyser and the this and that is because on our lunch breaks, we would literally go to Universal Studios
That's
and
pretty
go
cool.
on some rides just to, because we had a long day. We're going through a lot as kids,
Yeah.
and go on a ride and come back after lunch and, kill some energy like that. Life's not too shabby, right?
Yeah, I would say that. It sounds like you guys had it quite made. Now, are there any, that was actually kind of leading into like one of my other questions.
Yeah.
Were there any behind the scenes stories that you have from, filming like
I
while
mean,
on all
like,
that?
it was always great meeting the different musical artists. I remember TLC saying our theme song, and
Yep.
they were iconic. God rest her soul, Left Eye, and Aaliyah, God rest her soul, performed on our show. We had Usher, we had Craig Mack, we had
Buster Rhymes, I think.
what's Candy from the Housewife show. She was in a show called she was in a group, an R&B group, and I'm thinking we had her R&B group on our show. Was it
Yep.
Moke and Stuff? It was one of those groups.
Yeah,
But I mean, we've had so many people that before they really got successful
which is
were
pretty
on our
cool.
show. It was definitely R&B and hip hop inspired. We had Erica Badu. Then there was the Spice Girls. There was all kind of genres. Britney Spears was on it. But I was on the first 3 seasons. I'm from the original cast and the pilot, so
Yep.
our genre of music was a little different than the latter years.
Yeah, no, definitely. And now, as far as you were also you starred in another beloved TV show, and that was The Proud Family. Could
Right.
you talk about how you ended up getting a role on that show?
Yeah, I mean, all that was my first, I would say, series regular role, but I had done other things before all of that, such as, like I said, commercials and film and stuff. So
Yep.
when I got my foot wet uh, with the TV world, I just fell in love with it. So shortly after all that, I actually, not to segue away from Proud Family, I then later moved on to a show called One World, which was a Peter Ingalls show. He did like Saved by the Bell, City Guys, Hang Time. It was a teen NBC lineup. I won a Hollywood Reporter Award for Best Actress for that, and I did that for a couple years in my later years, in my teens, after I parted ways with all that. And I then moved on to shows like guest starred on shows like ER, NYPD Blue, Boston Public, 6 Feet Under, Without a Trace. So in the midst of my career, I had gotten a call to audition for a voiceover cartoon. I was newer to the voiceover world. I had done voiceovers, meaning like if I got casted in a commercial, they were like, "Oh, we like your voice, so you're going to say at the end, oh, refill sold separately." Like one of those, like I would have the ending, like, line exiting out of a commercial about the
Yeah.
product or whatever. And that was awesome. That was easy. I also sang, so I had experience being in the recording studio, so that was nothing that was out of my element. So when I auditioned for Proud Family, La Cienega Boulevardes just literally came to life through me, and vice versa. Casting was aware of me being on all that, and it just kind of, fit with the fan base. And the concept of the Proud Family was a diverse show with amazing actors: Kyla Pratt, Tommy Davison. I mean, we had an amazing cast. Soleil Moon Frye, the list goes on. And we were all uniquely different. It was like the United Nations, very similar to all that. So I loved being on shows that were melting pot on ensemble cast, basically. And the Proud Family was just an amazing, accoutrement to add on to my resume, because I miss doing that show. I'm hoping we bring it back, because the fan base to that show was awesome. And there's really nothing like it on TV. So I felt like it was a great, extension after I had done all that, because voiceover work is awesome, and I just love doing it.
And you never know that. I mean, they're bringing back all that, so there could be a revival for the Proud Family, maybe not too far.
Yeah,
down
that's
the road.
actually been in talks, you know what I mean? So, I support it 100%. I think we all do, and I just think it's all about timing and alignment.
Yeah.
The band upstairs, God controls everything. So we're down here just living our best life and trying to be as authentically possible to our higher selves as we can, and just be a reflection of what we really want to aspire to be, and be a role model, and just be good people. And then whatever's meant to be is. It's like there's a commercial out right now that I love, and it's the song, and the soundtrack is, I think it's for like a video game, is Que sera sera, whatever will be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got to be optimistic.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And actually, you kind of, just we're going into something else I was going to ask. So, you went from, you had stuff in between, but you went from, all that, which was completely live action, as well as, some of the other shows and stuff that you did. What was that transition like, going to something that was completely like voiceover or voice acting with the Proud Family?
I would say, like, I didn't have to worry so much what I looked like, which wasn't true, because like all the other actors were still looking fabulous in between us recording. But a lot of the times I recorded by myself. So when I did get a chance to like see other actors in the interim, like passing by in the waiting room, it was fun. And then I'd be like, "Who? Oh, okay." Like, I remember the first time I met, Carlos Mencia, who played the voice of my dad. I didn't know who it was, and I was like, "Oh, that's you, okay." So it's kind of funny, because in the voiceover world, you're basically by yourself. You could show up in pajamas if you wanted to. I would never dare to show up in pajamas, but don't think I didn't think about it. And I would say it's all about really you, and it's about your voice. So when it comes to doing voiceovers, people think, "Oh my God, it's so easy." It's actually, you're giving tenfold. You have to give more of what you actually give in person, because it's all through supporting your diaphragm, making sure you enunciate. Like, it's a whole thing, And so, like, before I even go in, I have to vocalize and, have a hot toddy. No, I'm teasing. And just make sure that my throat is as ready to go as possible, because it is my instrument. So you have to respect that just as much as you respect being a singer or playing an instrument or anything,
Yeah, no, definitely. And now, do you have like a favorite episode from, that series that comes to mind?
Oh yeah, I had duck feet. So there was like an episode where I revealed that I had duck feet, and it was so funny, because I did this speech at the AMBO where I did the typical Sally Fields line, like, you love me, you really love me, kind of a moment.
Yeah.
And I broke out into a montage of swimming Olympics and, aerial acrobats and synchronized swimming. And I do sing, so I got a chance to sing on the show, which was really fun. And then I reveal that I have duck feet. So, it's funny because it just goes to show you it was a show that allowed little kids to go, it's okay to be different, even if you have duck feet.
And as far as both of these shows too, I mean, both Proud Family and all that, they really have dedicated fan bases. What do you think, was it about both of these shows that made them so special and make, people, fans like myself, still talk about them so fondly today?
The diversity in the concept, and that there was a magic and a formula to it, that it just worked, and the cast and the ensemble and the creators. It was, a team effort. I think if one piece was missing, then something would be off.
Yeah.
So we were all, with both shows, meant to be at that moment of time together. And I think it was just about the synchronicity of things. And I think, both shows and all of the creators for both shows knew that diversity needed to be from a place of authenticity. It needed to be from a place that was raw and fearless and organic. And they found kids and they found actors, even on the Proud Family, we were all willing on all projects to just really give a piece of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because as actors, even as voiceover actors, we give a piece of ourselves. Every time we perform, we just add a little bit of ourselves to the character. You have to add a little bit of yourself. Don't think any character that I've ever played, Kiki the Island Girl, La Cienega Boulevardes, there is an Alisa Reyes in every character.
And that's what makes them so special.
And that's what makes it so special, because we leave our imprint. All the imprints make this one amazing frequency, and one imprint away from it would not make it what it is. And it was a team effort. And I think it just was also, like I said, the synchronicity and the alignment. And they had an amazing concept, and it worked. And there was nothing like it on TV for both programming. And that's what I love about the projects that I've done in my career. They've all been roles that people can relate to. I try to be a role model so little girls can go, okay, because I'm Irish, Italian, Dominican, and I'm from the East Coast, living out here, residing in the West, and showing that you can do anything you want to do as long as you put your mind to it. I write, I produce, I sing, I act, I teach,
So definitely, you're pretty busy.
Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day, but that's okay. I'll sleep when I'm with God. And, and you just live your best life, and you enjoy life, and love. That's what life is all about, really,
And speaking
and
of
I
that,
love the fans. I love the fans. That's what I love. The fans have been awesome.
I was gonna say, what's your relationship been like with them, throughout the years, from like when you started to all the way up to this point?
I mean, I have some fans that I've been talking to forever, and some close friends are were fans.
That's awesome.
Of mine. Someone that wrote my first fan letter, I still talk to.
Wow.
So,
that's cool.
At the end of the day, as long as you come from a place of love and light, I'm going to be a reflection of you. If you come to me a little aggressively, then I'm going to have to maybe take a break from that energy. But overall, no one's really been too invading, and everyone's been really respectful. And I mean, I hate to say this, but, we now have the luxury of we get to pick and choose who we want to react with. But I pretty much try to react with everybody. I think it's important when I do my 90s trivia on Twitter Monday through Friday that I like everybody that tries to give me an answer, because I know that these people are not trying to Google the answer.
Yeah.
And even my 90s Trivia's fan, which for me just makes sense to do 90s trivia because I was on such an iconic, nostalgic show that was on in the 90s. I just thought, well, that would work. Because with Twitter, you need to have some kind of gimmick. So that seems to be working for me. And the fans just seem to love the trivia. And I love that because, you know what? The 90s is an era that no one's ever going to forget.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah, for sure.
The only one of the other questions I was going to ask you is that, I know you were on all that. During that time frame, was there any other like Nickelodeon shows or Disney shows that you were big fans of?
Yeah, You Can't Do That on Television. Hello. Or Degrassi High. Hello.
Yep.
And I'm talking about, before, Drake was on it, like the original the
Yeah.
original like cast members. Though I love Drake, and we give love to all those that are just doing great things. You know,
Yeah.
can't be mad at the boy from Canada who played a character on Degrassi High, who's now like a mega rap star.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
But no, and I would say probably like I loved Clarissa Explains It All. I
Classic.
love Salute Your Shorts. Shout out to my girl Venus. I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, the
Yes.
whole Snick lineup was awesome.
Yep.
Like the fact that I was a part of the Orange Couch movement was really cool.
Yes.
You know, and the Big Ear of Corn.
I think I saw or another like interview that you did that you actually ended up getting like a kernel of corn from.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think I have. I did. I have it in storage somewhere. I'm gonna find this like random kernel of corn.
That's awesome
Like,
though. But I
I've got the
I
I've
wanted
got
to
the golden ticket.
I wanted to just kind of give you a time to just talk about what are you currently working on right now, and like where can fans catch you coming up soon in
Yeah.
the future.
So, first off, if you want to hit me up on social media, it's Alisa, Alisa, Reyes, Reyes.com. You can check out my website. I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on all that fun stuff.
All over the
Um,
place.
I have a documentary out right now that, just premiered in New York in November called The Orange Years. It's about 80s, 90s Nickelodeon nostalgia. I'm in it, and I'm one of the producers alongside of my partner, Scott Barber, and an amazing team of people that are backing it up. And that has anyone and everyone you can think of when it comes to Nickelodeon. We have Mark Summers, we have Phil Moore, we have myself and Keenan and Cal and Lori Beth and Josh. We have oh gosh, the list goes on and on. Danny
Everybody.
Tamborelli. We have just so many other actors. We have Melissa Joan Hart, and then we have people that were behind the scenes. Past presidents of Nickelodeon. So it's really going to be something I think the fans are going to love. So please stay tuned for more on that. Check out theorangeyears.com or check out our Instagram page. We also, what was I going to say? I also have an amazing animated show that I've been working on alongside of my business partner, Scott Barber from the Orange Years. So I can't say much about it, but let's just say this is my baby, and I'm so excited to share this with the world, because aside from being on the Proud Family, I've had other cartoons that I've done and other voiceover work that I've done. So I just fell in love with the voiceover world, and I just felt like, there's definitely a place that I need to continue to leave an imprint, hence my segue that I'm working on a kid's book in honor of my mom who passed away like 10 years ago. So that's another project of mine. A lot of people don't know that I write and produce, and that's something that, I hold dear to because it gives me a chance to have a creative outlet. I just booked a lead in a feature film, so I'm getting ready to shoot in the next month for the next like month and a half. So I'm really excited. I can't share the name of the film yet, but let's just say it's action, suspenseful, love, and a little bit of adventure.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about it. I've been training, working hard to get ready for this because there's a lot of cool nautical things that I'm going to do in the water.
Yep.
So let's just say this year, it's the year of the pig. It's an abundant year. So I've started off with a really great year thus far. And I'm working on a really cool voiceover gig later this week. Just kind of working with some people that I haven't worked with in a while. So I feel like, there's a lot of cool things that are kind of stirring up that I can't wait to finally like be able to share. Okay, this is the name of that and this. You'll be able to know more once I start recording and shooting things.
Yep.
In probably the next month or two. So follow my social media, and then I'll be releasing more information about the projects that I'm attached to. And then I have, last but not least, a film that's coming out this year, I think, called Heavenly Deposit. It's a Christian-based film.
Okay.
And the Dove Foundation is a part of it, and it just has a positive message. So once again, hence, I love doing things that, can allow people to just take away something good from it. So yeah, that's what's been happening in my world, and I'm hoping, for all of you guys to check out my new stuff this 2019.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Go check out all of those projects, the stuff that she's working on. Go follow her on social media to get updates on that. And I just want to thank you, Alissa, for for doing this interview, taking time out of your super busy schedule. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. You're awesome. Hope I didn't talk your ear off. It's just, when it comes to all these things, you make us go down memory lane. And so we just kind of get a little like, we get in the moment and we just kind of go off on it.
No, no, I love this stuff. So thank you for sharing all these memories with me for that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks so much. You have a great day, okay?
You as well.
Okay, bye, honey.
Bye.